Welcome to this session. In this session, we will discuss about what are virtual instrumentation interface requirements. Uh, when you talk about the virtual instrumentation, we are creating a customized software oriented virtual instrument where we are performing measurement, monitoring, control as well as testing operations as per our requirements. So here we need to focus on the interface mechanism which are related to the instruments. When we talk about the instrumentation process, the sensor will take the input of the parameter like flow, level, temperature, pressure, etc. From sensor, it will be given to the signal conditioning elements, later on signal processing, and from signal processing, we will be taking to the computer, and in the computer we are going to display the measured parameter. So this is a brief note how the parameters are measured, monitored and controlled. It is the case of single parameter. But if you are having more number of parameters, that means all the parameters are to be monitored, measured and controlled. So there we need to have a data acquisition, and this data acquisition system will be connected to the computer. That means here we need to establish the interfacing mechanism where instruments are connected to the computers, and the data rate should be very high such that the real time parameters are measured, monitored and controlled for the safety operation of the plant. So the interfacing should be done in a proper manner, and the parameters should be monitored continuously in a real time basis, and the data from the instrument to the computer should be at faster rates without any noise, and high efficiency should be maintained. So as we know, the evolution of instrumentation has brought many technological advancements, and various interfacing techniques are used for the measurement of parameters where the communication is fast and highly reliable without any noise environment. So virtual interface will be used for higher efficiency and faster communication of the data. Here the data is related to the parameters. So let us discuss what are the virtual instrumentation interface requirements for the modern day industrial environment. So this is nothing but the virtual interface requirements. So it started from the current loop. We are having RS-232 and RS-485. We have GPIP, which was developed by Hewlett Packard. This is also known as HPIP. GPIP stands for General Purpose Interface Bus. And apart from GPIP, we are having many bus interfaces which include USB, PCMCIA, VXI, SCSI, PCI, PXI, FireWire. We are having Ethernet control, and apart from that, we are having IV. So here, if you see on the screen, we are having various kinds of interface availability which are used for transferring the data from peripheral devices to the computers. And the data speed should be very high without having any noise. So these are the basic requirements for the interface to transfer the data from the instruments to the computer. So here, this is the requirements for an interface. The transmission of data from the source to a device or from a device to the destination. So in industrial scenario, the data should be transferred from the sensor to the personal computer, or sometimes from the personal computer to the element which will be used for controlling action. So in both the directions, the data should be transferred, and this transmission of the data or the signal or the command signal should be done with the help of a bus. This bus will act as the interface between the instrument and the computer. And there are two types of transmission of data. One is known as the serial communication or serial transmission, and the second one is parallel transmission. So here in parallel transmission, multiple lines carrying bits simultaneously will be taking place at high data rate. Here it is a cost related system development. Whereas in serial transmission, bits transmitted serially, sometimes it will be asynchronous or synchronous mode. So these are the basic requirements where the transmission of data will take place either from the sensor to the PC, or sometimes the PC to the instrument which is used to control the plant. So the role of the interface is it acts as a medium for the transfer of the data or sometimes the command signal. So here we are having serial input output protocol. So in serial transmission we will be having synchronous mode and asynchronous mode. If you take a synchronous serial I/O protocol, a master clock controls the transmission as a continuous stream. In case of asynchronous mode, a random delay between the data pieces will take place. So this is a serial transmission of data. In case of synchronous mode, error detection and correction is available, and there is a possibility in this protocol. Whereas in asynchronous mode, error detection is possible, whereas the correction will take place separately. So there is a subtle difference between the synchronous mode and the asynchronous mode. Now coming to the basic interface mechanism, we are having RS-232 cable. The data transfer is broadly classified as single-ended and differential. That means we can transfer the data in two ways. One is single-ended transfer and second one is known as differential transfer. RS-232 cable is meant for single-ended data transfer, which was started in the year 1962, and it is used for shorter distance data transfer or data transmission, where the speed of the data transfer is at order of 20 kilobytes per second, and the data transmission is limited up to 50 feet. That means if you take RS-232 cable, this RS-232 is used for shorter distance data transmission. The distance is up to 50 feet, and the data transfer is at slow speeds, which is in the order of 20 kilobytes per second, and the data transfer is single ended data transfer. So this is the earlier version of data transfer or data transmission by using RS-232. The next one is a modification to RS-232, which is known as RS-485. Here the data transfer is differential data transfer mode. Whenever you want to transfer the data over longer distances and also at faster rate, then we need to adapt differential data transmission, which provides superior performance when compared to single-ended data transfer using RS-232. That means RS-485 is superior in terms of speed as well as it covers longer distance. Hence, RS-485 is better than RS-232 in terms of speed and also in terms of distance for data transmission. Hence, we can say that RS-485 will provide more data transfer at larger speeds, and by using RS-485 we can connect to 32 devices at a time. That means we can provide more capability for data transfer where 32 devices are connected by using a single RS-485 medium. Hence, RS-485 is superior when compared to RS-232. Now, you can observe the differences between the RS-232 and RS-485. Here, as I referred earlier, the first difference is mode of operation. It is RS-232 is single-ended, whereas RS-485 is differential type. Here, the number of drivers and receivers are only one in case of RS-232, whereas in RS-485 we can connect 32 devices with this format. Here, the maximum cable length is 50 feet in RS-232, and in case of RS-485 the range is up to 4000 feet. In RS-232 the data transfer rate is at 20 kilobytes per second, whereas in RS-485 it is having 10 Mbps. That means in RS-232 it is only 20 kilobytes per second, whereas in RS-485 it is in the order of 10 MB per second. That means we are having high data transfer rate. Again, we are having signal levels at from 5 to 15 volts, whereas in case of RS-485 it is only 1.5 volts. So there are more number of differences between RS-232 and RS-485, where RS-485 is superior in terms of performance, We can compare its driver load impedance, receiver input voltage range, receiver input sensitivity, and receiver input resistance. So if you see the values in the table, we can judge that RS485 is better than RS232 for data transfer between the instrument and the computer, or the peripheral to the computer. Hence, the data transmission will take place at faster rates in case of RS485. So these are RS232 and RS485. They act as the interface between the instruments and the computer, or the devices and the computer. So this is how we are going to use these interface cables for transmission of the data or the parameters data to the computers. So just now we have discussed, these are called as the key characteristics of RS232 and RS485, that is line configuration, mode of operation, maximum cable length, maximum data rate, logic levels. Just now we discussed it is 5 to 15, whereas it is 1.26 volts. Again, receiver input impedance and receiver sensitivity. Now coming to the 20 milliamps current loop. Here it is called as current controlled loop, where we are going to use current control encoding process. Here, earlier days, the sensor data used to come to the controller with the support of the current loop. So here, the distance is limited by voltage availability. That means, if you take a small example, if the source has 20 volts and 7500 internal resistance, we can add 300 ohm wire resistance to get up to 18 milliamps. So this is nothing but a very old fashioned data transfer where a current loop is generated. Of course, it can provide high common mode rejection, and it is also a high isolator. But here in current loop, we are having a disadvantage where there might be a possibility of crosstalk between the two cables. So 20 milliampere current loop is the old fashioned industrial environment where the parameters are being operated in terms of current values. So these are the few interface mechanisms which are available in the industrial environment, like by using 20 milliampere current loop, RS232 and RS485. In the coming session, we will discuss about the other virtual instrumentation interface, where different types of controllers are used for transmission of the data from the instruments to the PC, or for sending the command signals from the instruments from the PC to the instruments. Thank you.